How's it going, guys? This is Luke from Coffee House, and this is part 3 of the fellow Shimmy here. We were, in the previous parts, we did an unboxing and first impressions. The second part, we did kind of a brew recipe and comparison of 2 brewed coffees using the Shimmy and not using the Shimmy. And I wanted to use this third video to kind of, just wrap everything together and give you some final thoughts about this guy. So having something like this is really important to me, because it allows you to have an insurance policy for the kind of coffee you're brewing. Grinders are very, very expensive. And even with something like the Fellow Ode, it's going to be difficult to keep up with that perfect cup of coffee you're going to be tasting at a cafe. The EK that they have in their coffee shop, the grinder, is about $2,700, $2,850. And it's going to compose itself in a completely different way compared to a home grinder. And a lot of those grinders are really not going to hold a candle near that. But what this does is it eliminates kind of the most prominent problem for something like this, which is the fine collection. Fines are the number one reason that your coffee is going to taste a little more muddy or a little less or over extracted when compared to that cup of coffee you get in a cafe. And for the price point, this is really going to allow you to get kind of closer to that perfect cup. This is the cup of coffee that we used in comparison in the last video, and I'm still drinking it because it's just that good. Obviously it works. It's a 200 micron screen that you're gonna run your coffee through. It's gonna get rid of the fines no matter what, and it's going to work, and the science is there. The extraction and even extraction through even pieces of ground coffee is going to just taste better than having a variability of extractions, because those smaller pieces will be over extracted and will contribute to a worse tasting cup of coffee overall. This compared to the Cruve, I think the Cruve, which comes with a variety of different filters, it's just a bit too complex. It's a bit too much work. It's a bit harder to clean. It's a bit more expensive. It's just kind of more for like a scientific or testing lab versus a home where this is really just, little 30-second shake, and then you're good to go. If you're looking for a clean cup of coffee, if you're looking to nerd out about coffee, this is something that you absolutely need to have in your lineup, because just having a good grinder, just having a good coffee brewer, just having good coffee isn't always going to be perfect. The grinders are expensive, and I think this really gives you the opportunity to get a way more expensive tasting cup of coffee. I think that's about it. From the practical standpoint, from the usability standpoint, I really like this shaker here. It works a lot better than the Fellow Ode kind of like dispenser here, because I did not like those. I wish they just didn't have the fins on them at all. This is really great. These top and bottoms are interchangeable. You can put the filter any way you want and it still works perfectly fine. The one thing I really didn't love, obviously it's gonna be a little fun to clean because fines are gonna get caught everywhere, so you might need to take the little gasket off here, which you can though. The one thing that I didn't really love, but I don't really know exactly how you're gonna be able to get rid of it, is, with the fines in there, to pour them out, you're gonna have to stick your fingers in here, take this out, give this a shake, dump that out, wash it out, and then kind of give this a shake. Whereas, the other opportunity and what they tell you to do is to take off this bottom, dump it out there. But I just think you're gonna get a little bit more of a mess everywhere when you do that. So, but there's really not much you can do to avoid it. These are just gonna be messy. Coffee grounds are messy, and especially the powdery fines are gonna be very messy. I think they did everything that they could in terms of building a fully functional and well-designed piece. This is probably gonna be your most durable setup, but don't go damaging the filter screen in there, because that will definitely easily damage, since it's just very, very thin metal with a lot of holes in it. I think this is one of those things that is extremely necessary. I would say before you're looking to take another $900 and get a new grinder, get a new Baratza AP, BG, anything like that, I just think that you might want to be able to consider one of these before you start investing money in that. And obviously then you have a little more money freed up to get good coffee, support your local roasters, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I am really, really pleased with this. I think there was a spot in the market that the Cruve just couldn't quite reach, given the price point and the complexity. I think it was a bit too nerdy, if you want to use that word, to a lot of people. And it really kind of appealed to a specific person who was looking to get like a lab grade result of coffee. This I think it's a lot better because of the simplicity. It works exactly as it should, and it takes out just enough of those fines to where you're not going to get, like God's amazing cup of coffee, but you're going to be very close to what you want in a cafe. And yeah, I think that's about it. Again, Fellow kills it, beautiful products. Longevity is great. We've been using this for about probably a year now. We have, all the kettles and everything like that. Everything's on the website. And, this is, I think, going to be one of their biggest hits for the coffee community. Obviously, the Fellow Stag is always going to be amazing and rope in the majority of people for the coffee world. But I think this is really going to take on the specialty community and allow people to really get a good cup of coffee at home. Absolutely buy one. We have, I think, a case of them that we just got delivered from Fellow, so they're on the website. Please go on the website, check them out, all that good stuff. They're fairly priced too. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about the Fellow Shimmy. I would absolutely recommend one for home if you're looking to nerd out and get that kind of cafe level quality at your house. It just works so well with everything else that we have, and that builds kind of that perfect home coffee setup without balling out and getting like a $2,000 grinder or all this, and this. I really enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Luke from Coffee House, and we'll talk to you soon.